Welcome back, everybody. Time for our second BO3 of today for the European qualifiers of the Dota 2 Asia Championships. It's Na'Vi taking on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm GoDz, joining me is KotLGuy. Are you ready for our second series, Dakota?
Absolutely. It was a very long first best-of-3 series there, but of course, spoiler alert, props to Alliance on their victory taking out Tinker in a 2-1 run, and now the always classic Power Rangers versus Na'Vi. Now, given if this was a year ago, you'd be like, yeah, Na'Vi, no problem. They're the big boys. But Power Rangers have always had the Na'Vi number. And I know I said this to you before, but maybe anyone who's just tuning in now, these two teams have obviously met a lot. They have 26 matches against each other, and they're 13-13. They are at 50 between both of them. So
wow,
the winner of this series is going to be able to be on top as far as franchise going head-to-head. And you know, that's much more important.
Man, I love when you talk dirt. Talk stats to me, Dakota.
I don't look at stats though. I'm just a caster.
Well,
I don't research.
We'll see what Na'Vi's showing up today. They've been with this roster for some time, but they still just aren't finding their rhythm at all. Like tournament after tournament, they can maybe squeeze on in. For the first time in forever, they didn't qualify for the Starlighter Land Finals. I think this is actually a first for Na'Vi. For as long as Starlight's been around, Na'Vi's been in every land finals, apart from one which they qualified for, but I think couldn't attend because there was a conflict with some other event. But it's definitely a team that's been on the decline for some time, but looking to kind of rejuvenate things with this new roster with GoBlack in the captaincy, and we'll see what they can do here in the Dota 2 Asia Championship.
Yeah, it's been hot and cold. They are coming off, what was this? Their last match, unfortunately, they did lose to Alliance. This was back on December of 26th in Starlighter, and you already talked about how they've been a bit shaky in their run there, but just trying to stay fresh here. They've had a couple of games in 6.83 ever since then. They've been big on picking the Wisp, but they're actually going to ban it out here, knowing that maybe potentially Power Rangers would look to grab it up themselves, but they're going to go with the vengeful Medusa grab up, and on the side of Power Rangers, Puck and Witch Doctor here. So pretty stagnant stuff. Nothing too out of the loop. But with the immediate ban on Nyx, it's interesting. They're just going to immediately go for anything that could counter their Medusa. Actually, I say that anything looks too crazy, but I shake my head and I'm like, oh, Medusa picked up so early in this.
Yeah.
This is a lot of opportunity for Power Rangers to counter it back.
Pick Medusa and ban the Medusa counters. There's still an Invoker in the pool if you want to go for a Quaswex Invoker, but you've already got Puck on your lap. If you go Puck with a Quaswex Invoker, I feel like there's a major lack of damage. I guess you've got the Witch Doctor who's got Death Ward, but Witch Doctor in itself is a bit of an unusual first two pick hero. This is not your normal everyday support opener, but Power Rangers, they've got something in mind. They do their own thing. They do Power Rangers, and they get these upsets for a reason, and part of that is they do somewhat play and draft a bit unconventionally.
Yeah, and Ditya Raz had been a player for so long. You know, he's also had a bit of a shaky history, but I've seen plenty of games where this guy has pulled out some huge upsets behind the back plays, playing like your Slark or even a Clinks or anyone who could just kind of bring the game back on the brink. So they're very familiar with this, and now
I would say
Slark,
maybe Dichara's best hero. I don't know if you'd agree.
I would say so. I would agree with that. Definitely. That's like when I saw it. I wish I remember what the game was, but he put the team on his back, and it was a Slark game. It was absolutely out of control, but we'll see here. Na'Vi, they make the ballsy call to pull out their ace, their Medusa, so early in this draft. They've got to have something up their sleeves. So looking to build around that now. We get to see one of the components to the old standard forehead strat, Jakiro, who I haven't personally seen in quite a while. He was nerfed down a bit in the recent patch. His Liquid Fire was just taken down a notch, but outside of that, still just a great potent hero. You got your slow, you got your stun, and you got your great pushing prowess. So.
Yeah.
And he's tanky, so he can bodyguard runes too.
I think Na'Vi've been running him hero there, and it's still a lot of the time an off-lane Funnick Jakiro when they pick this up. There's that flexibility there at the moment, but I like having like a kind of tanky, hard-to-kill guy. And here we go! Keeper of the Light!
Breathe!
Wow.
Sorry.
Bring out the ventilator.
Wow,
Whew.
Okay. So, Keeper of the Light. What does he do here? Mana Leak.
No, Mana Leak is the main thing, but Medusa just kind of stands still and right-clicks half the time, so we'll see.
But
it does mean Medusa can't run.
She gets blasted back and loses a bit of mana, I suppose.
You mass 4 stars.
On top of that. Yeah.
Mana
Force
Leak
staff
plus
too.
4-staff the Medusa
Well, hey,
around.
well, look at this, okay? Now bear with me here. You do that. He already gets a 4-staff. You have Puck get an Agnum Scepter. Plus, you have the Force to work with that. Plus the Blinding Light. That's a full coil snap. Even if you've got, well, I guess if you have BKB, it won't matter. But hey, I mean, she lands a beautiful coil. You just Blinding Light everyone outside the coil to snap, even a Force if you need to. Plus with the Mana Leak, why not, right? I don't mind that. That's
So
pretty
basically, they'll tie Medusa up with some strings and be the little puppeteers moving the Medusa around in these fights. Is one way of playing it, perhaps. It's a cool draft.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I have seen many a keepers come up, and I always get so excited. And even in the hands of big names like FY, even that played a keeper, and it was like 0 and 8 at the end. I'm like, well, okay. I'm like always getting excited. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll learn a thing or two, you know, but. It's hard, man. It's a hard life for a keeper. The problem is he has no way to get away. Once you close the gap and you get in his face, like, what are you going to really do? And you can't just blast the lane. You're taking farm away from your core. So he has a weird, interesting little niche. He can always kind of work in the jungle a bit, make stacks, farm out those own stacks. But I'm curious to see what they're going to do with him. And Na'Vi replied, they get a nice little unconventional pick themselves, the Undying grab.
They've got some annoying dual lane potential. You do something like an Undying Jakiro off lane with like a Venge +1 safe lane. You've got some very powerful lanes. You can look to try win all 3 or at least 2 to 3 lanes if you do some kind of setup like that. So I like this. KotL, I mean, I think with this pick you have to look. I don't think you can pick this here just for the Mana League. Like it's a nice plus, and that's where I feel PR have something in mind with their 5th pick that can benefit a lot from the Chakra Magic, perhaps. Either that, or they're looking to go offensive tri-lane and punish the Medusa farm with like a KotL Witch Doctor +1 tri-lane. Slack is okay there. If you hit the pounce, you can keep them in place for the Illuminate, but I feel like there's going to be something more to it than just like let's pick up the KotL for the Mana Leak against Medusa.
Yeah, he's just such a niche pick. I mean, you would see him occasionally, like, back in the day it was all about the KotL PL, being able to bring him around and just kind of be that taxi service, but I don't think you really do that with someone like Slark a whole lot. So there's got to be something behind that. And, oh my, mother!
Interesting. Na'Vi currently lacking good anti-Brood heroes, and they wanted to go dual lanes with this like Undying Jakiro, I want to say. And you see the Brood and suddenly you're like, uh-oh, our Venge can't solo support versus a Brood. You have to really mix things up a bit here with your lanes, I feel, when you see this Brood. This is actually a big problem hero for Na'Vi. Yeah. This changes the entire Na'Vi strat. GoDz is going to see this and be like, okay, well, what do we do now? Who can we send against the Brood? Do we need to tri-lane the Brood? Is there someone who can 1v1 the Brood? Do we pick an Axe or a Legion Commander? Like, what? I feel like you need to do something like send Medusa mid and get some hero that can 1v1 the Brood right now.
I know Funnick has run with a Legion Commander in the past.
Axe. Yeah, they're going to go Axe. So
okay.
There's still like Axe. I think even Tide was still in the pool. Legion was there. So Havost Axe, perhaps.
This is going to be great. This is a very spicy draft coming out from both sides. You got PowerRangers here who have a huge sieging push assault if you put together the Keeper and the Brood. I already talked about the little bits of synergy. I mean, put on top of that, Witch Doctor could drop his Death Ward, and if you're Mana Leaked and stuck in a coil, what are you going to do? You're going to run away from it? You can't really. You got to address it. It's very awkward, so Na'Vi have to deal with that. Na'Vi, though, they got a big, ballsy, man kind of a lineup here. And I'm already seeing Dendi taking the role of Medusa, which is a bit interesting, but they could still always swap. But I actually think it's going to be the Dendi Medusa Havost Axe. Has he played Axe before?
I think once or twice for sure.
I'll look this up.
I mean, yeah, you said which is more of a Havost hero, Axe or Medusa? I would say Axe. I feel like it's Havost. Havost doesn't want to just sit back and get his farm on. He wants to fight.
Not. Yeah,
he plays that much more aggressive style of carry. So we'll see how he does here. I think if he is going to be 1v1 against the Brood, I think one of the key things for PR to try to do is try catch Havost by surprise with like a support rotation. Someone like a KotL can just somehow sit behind a Brood at some point, and one Illuminate could kind of throw a spanner in the works and cause Havost problems. But it looks like they're actually going to dodge that matchup. They're going to send Brood top for the time being.
Well, they have not played Axe, at least from what I've looked at here, in any of 6.82 at all. Right. So it's been quite a while for them, unless they've done it in scrim play as of recent. They could be a bit rusty, but it definitely suits Havost's gameplay style. So we'll see how much he can do with it here. But I guess without further ado, GoDz, if you don't mind, I'll just lead out our introductions here.
Okay.
Start off with your Radiant side Na'Vi boys here. Funnick is going to be playing your Jakiro here in the off lane. Nearby, we got Captain Goblack here. Going to play your Undying. Mid lane, for now at least, Vanscore is going to be playing your support Vengeful Spirit. Behind that, it is Dendi. Going to be playing your Medusa, and of course that leaves Havost on his Axe.
Oh, by the way, Havost is first blood. Yes, no, I would say yes here. Havost wants this bounty rune.
Oh boy, look at them all just camped in the Roche pit. Like,
you go to Havost's vision, he's like, it's totally clear, no one's here. This is fantastic.
Easy bounty rune, no problem.
Yeah, all right.
Easiest rune of my
there's
life.
a pounce cast.
Oh,
yeah,
crap.
okay. Won't even get the bounty rune. Dichara makes sure he gets the bounty rune as well.
Hi, how you doing, Havost? Welcome to the Dota Asian Championships 2015. Power Rangers now get to lead off with your first blood. Good grab from them. Holy moly.
All right, well, introduce them quickly. J4 on the Witch Doctor, Dichara on his signature slack, Saneko playing the Keeper of the Light, Puck going to be in the hands of Sashkalo in the mid lane, and safe lane solo, Cheshire Cat going to be on the Brood, up against the Jakiro, who did get a bounty rune, so that helps out Funnick a little bit here in this 1v1. No, it's not a... Obviously, it's somewhat Brood-favored matchup, I feel, but Jakiro does have some AoE for dealing with the Brood.
Yeah, he's not going to get stuck in a rut. Has a little bit of offer, but I don't think Brood is going to be contested to the point where she's going to have to deter away from the lane. She's going to have plenty of room to work with, plenty of farm potential, and we'll be able to get her own thing going. And I don't imagine Brood is going to be deterring away from this lane anytime soon. She's just going to plague herself all the way through and force Na'Vi to kind of address it and pull away from maybe the standard farm they want to go for. But while they're doing that, you have other pushing potentials coming out. Ditya will continue to farm on his Slark, and we'll see here as they continue to be aggressive in this aggro off lane. They're going to move forward. Vanscore going to get cut. Blast flies out, brings him down to half-life. An auto attack. Oh, Ditya does not catch the pounce. Very close, and now they turn their sights on the Goblack here. They're going to get some swift attacks in, but not going to be able to draw any sort of extra blood.
Also, Witch Doctor getting unlucky there. Didn't get the double cask onto the Venge. It was like it was a 50-50. There was one creep in the Venge. It hit the Undying and then went to the creep instead of the Venge. But they secure the Centaur kill, so nice chunk of gold going the way of Deech's Slark there.
Sorry, I had to turn something back on here.
All right.
Here we go. So a try versus try here between the two.
It's very rare you see a try... Like, normally Undying is like, loves a good tri-lane versus tri-lane, but this is... I look at this and think, KotL Witch Doctor sitting back, like, throwing nukes and being annoying. I don't think Na'Vi can really fight this try-v-try. They're actually going to, send the axe top and kind of abandon ship and rotate Funnick down bottom now.
Good audible call. He's actually going to literally make a call right in the middle. Cheshire Guy eats a couple of spins and will be forced back. But bottom lane also, they're going to make the dive. When they see axe go top, they want to make something happen down here. But Funnick also rotated down here, and now they're the ones in trouble. Blast will fly out. J4 tries to heal up, but he still goes down.
Well, Dichara's got a lot of Essence Shift charges, but problem is he's got no HP to fight with. Needs to wand up the dual breath damage. One more right click. Is it going to be enough? No. 20 HP. Funnick now in all sorts of trouble. If there's one more Illuminate, there will be in a second here. That Chakram buff. Not going to use the Illuminate, though.
The new Chakra magic definitely works a lot more as you get the levels on it. The mana cost goes down a lot. It's a lot less than what it once was, so he benefits more from being able to level it up early. I'm curious. I've always been curious if, especially with the new recent changes, it's not too terrible to actually get a 1 value point into Mana Leak. I mean, now the leak is just as good at level 1 as it is at 4, given you have to be pretty close. If you do manage to get in there, if they have to run, they'll lose all of their mana immediately. So
yeah.
You should, it's always okay to consider it, but a lot of people obviously put more value in being able to have the extra bit of mana and, of course, a big old blast to work with.
I mean, if you look at that fight there where there was a lot of chasing going on and, like, heroes running back and forth, that would have been a great time to have the point in the Mana Leak. At the same time, you're giving up a point in something else. Like, it could be something you get at level 4, maybe, which KotL, already level 3, doing pretty well in this bottom lane. Gotta say, so far, I'd say the KotL pick has been a worthwhile hero for this offensive tri-lane. Like, even though that last fight, it was Na'Vi getting a 1-for-0 trade, Dichara came so close to getting 2-3 different kills there. That was just some slight misfortune in some ways.
And Havost quickly managed to find some farm for himself in this top lane. He's now tied for top CS at 20 there with the Brood. So he definitely is benefiting a lot from moving away from that aggro lane at the bottom. Well, mid lane here, we haven't talked a lot about it. It's been relatively quiet. Dendy at 18 and 6 for CS. Puck on the other side, 16 and 2. So
yeah,
almost down the middle right there.
Probably going to stay a bit of a snoozeville lane unless any support rotations happen, but shouldn't expect too much. Maybe around puck hitting level 6 we could see support make their way towards the mid lane, but I think for the most part we're just going to see this exchange of farm continue to happen. Dendy though does get all okay. No, he's fine. He's bottle crowing now. That's the one thing which we'll have to see how the runes go down.
Oh, bottom lane Tombstone is going to be dropped. The blast went out. Funnick eats a bit of damage, but they will step back and they're going to be fine.
I love these little disco zombies.
Disco zombies?
This looks like a disco zombie to me. I don't know. Something about it.
Close enough to see a disco zombie.
They look like they're from the 80s or something here. Bottom lane, cast into a pounce. They got him just barely. That was right at the edge. Clips him and Ichiraz not done. Will get stunned up. Needs an escape plan now. Will wand up. Had a lot of charges here, but GoDz wants to man up and fight the Voodoo Restoration now. Not going to be enough to heal the decay damage in. The right clicks coming into play. The cask as well. They get the Undying in. 2-for-1 trade at the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Axe top. Solo killed by Cheshire Cat. Didn't have the spawn spiraling. Went pure right click damage with the ultimate and takes out Havos in a 1v1.
Not done yet though. Bottom lane, let's go right back down as they want to get a hold of J4 after getting those couple of kills. The blast is not going to be on the mark, and Funnick is going to try to fly him down, but the heals are there, and Vanscore's a little too weak to pursue, so not going to be able to get a follow-up kill there.
Yep. So Havos not having the spiderlings that he'd hoped to have to farm against here at the top lane. Now top river. Cheshire Cat going to web his way down to help make sure he secures the rune for Puck, who gets a regen. Puck doing well, starting to out-CS Dendy a bit. I think the fact he's getting the runes and Dendy has to bottle crow and is being somewhat zoned out of the lane is working in Puck's favor.
So we'll see here with GoDz will make his return to this very action-packed bottom lane here, where it just seems pretty back and forth here. A couple of quick grabs there, of course, for J4. He doesn't go down, so your Witch Doctor benefits some serious early game gold, and Na'Vi continue to find a lot of farm outside of their Axe there in the top lane, and of course Dendy mid.
An old TP coming bottom lane. Puck wants to get involved. They're going to start onto Funnick here, and they'll have the Puck for the other heroes. Undying going to drop the Tombstone. Fighting at the Tomb not easy, and as a result, they'll focus it down first. Ditchera may be dead before the fight even really breaks out. Coral on 2. Funnick as well as Vangscore trapped in place. Illuminate going to follow this up. It's not going to hit anyone, though. That's a lot of missed damage, and Funnick with the stick, gonna survive. The orb not gonna hit as well. Sashglow now does not have an escape. He's got just the phase shift. Will bottle himself back up, and the cask will prevent Na'Vi from going for more. Oh, KotL
from behind, gets two sneaky little auto attacks and takes him down.
That is just so cheeky right now. And Puck with a level 4 orb, he misses it onto Vangscore. As does the Illuminate. They're not hitting all these spells, but it's the right click from the KotL. So Nico's saying, I'll do it the old-fashioned way. GoDz going to be hit by the cask once, no second cask coming into play. And the body blocks from J4 preventing the escape. He's going to die here. Complete bloodbath in the bottom lane. This is the CIS Dota we all know and love here. Double kill goes the way of the Puck. And, well, all said and done, who even comes out on top of that one?
I don't know. The one who benefits the most from these kills, it's
KotL, surely.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a nice couple of kills. Puck also grabs some for himself, has about 1,200 gold, so it's one relatively good tempo to move forward towards that Blink Dagger. And interesting note, so Nico did get that 1 point in the Mana Leak, at least by level 5, and will not get the ultimate at 6. Goes right back for the blast. So does have a little bit extra control there and locking people down and not allowing them to get too far away. So being able to have something like that, plus your Witch Doctor Death Ward coming in the near future, a nice bit of synergy together.
The tri-lane versus tri-lane action at bottom somewhat continuing here. KotL going to come back down, and Na'Vi have 3 heroes still committed to this one, but it looks like it's mid lane where Witch Doctor is lurking around. Just a level 2 cast though, and don't really see this being a feasible kill. They're going to drop the coil, and Dendy has not leveled up Stone Gaze just yet. They're TPing in the Keeper of the Light. Illuminate going to be necessary. Dendy in trouble. Has got backed up now. Vangscore going to show himself up, looking for the counter kills now. Nico has the Voodoo Restoration heal, and it looks like no casualties at mid. No Maledict, but at the same time also no Stone Gaze for Dendy.
Yeah. Lots of rotations, even Havost making that rotation over, trying to help out. Does leave Brood a little bit of time to kind of make work up here, but
yeah.
I think Na'Vi were kind of hoping to get a good counterplay there. Not going to happen at this point. PR make the return back towards the bottom, and we'll just continue their onslaught there.
Things going very well, I'd say, for PR in general. The Brood going back for the Spiderlings now, which I think is important. Otherwise, you kind of don't farm or scale that well to the late game. Having your Spiderlings to farm the jungle is very important. You don't need it as much in the getting the Spiderlings in the lane stage wasn't good because it would feed the axe, but now we can just use them in the jungle and fight the axe just with this hero.
Yeah, I know a big turning point is of course going to be Havost if he manages to throw together that blink, but he's going to be forced to TP out from this lane, so that's a victory right there for Cheshire Cat. It just goes back to the tower, not all the way back to base.
That's a good move here. And Vengscore, they don't have detection here. Vengscore comes up. They need more than that. Puck going to look to secure the 10-minute rune. Dendy and him battling it out. It's Dendy who's going to be the worst for wear there. Another rune going the way of Puck. Puck seems to be getting every single top rune. Dendy just can't catch a break.
I feel like if they can get a hold of Brood here in the top lane, they could do it. With the call, plus the stun, and the calling on top of it. It shouldn't take too much muscle power to take down the Brood with them together.
If he's bike creeps, absolutely. It's going to come down to getting some spins, though. And Vengscore, this Spiderling army could quickly bring him down. And Cheshire Cat scouts out the Venge, also sees there's no sentries on him. And if he realizes there's no sentries at this top lane, that's easy kill into the Vengeful Spirit.
So things have gone to a bit of a calm for now. Well, they're looking to farm a bit more and itemize to the next turning point for them. Dendy playing the Medusa just seems to be a bit different from the usual Dendy playstyle. When the golden days of being able to play like Quap Puck and as of recent Templar Assassin, where you build up a significant dominant mid-game performance and then really look to snowball. Medusa, you don't really do that with. You just kind of hold your own in the mid lane, get good farm, and just try to bring in those items one by one until you really can dominate in the late game. So it just seems to be a bit different from Dendy's comfort zone playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, now they have these very unkillable core heroes here, but ultimately they need a plan to start taking towers. Bottom lane, though, GoDz going to get initiated on, drops the Tombstone, and Dichara going to be forced to Shadow Dance, and doesn't look like he's getting a kill here on GoDz. These magic wands in this bottom lane are all paying for themselves. Disco Skeletons, man, do you see him now?
I saw them, but I'm still trying to
figure out. I see it in the portrait more than anything. Top lane, Puck TPing in, and he's there ready to cancel a TP out. Should Havost try and do so, and he's holding onto the coil. Havost looking for the counter kill. Sashka's going to get low. He gets the dunk. Havost gets one, and Vengscore, if he had some detection, he could maybe look for a second. Unfortunately, no sentries, no dust.
Well, that did not go the way they planned it. They didn't even get the opportunity to coil or anything.
I mean, Puck had to hold the coil because if he coils right away, Havost just TPs out and they don't have the damage to kill him during the TP. But at the same time, he needs to not get hit by that call. Once he gets hit by that call, it goes badly.
Not going to happen. So Nico rotates towards the mid lane and will begin to blast it down, but Dendy sees it coming. He's got that ward on the high ground, so he's not going to get caught out with any sort of pesky level 4 Illuminate. And the walt's back. Carl's still not leveling up his ultimate quite yet, knows it's not too important, and it looks like between the two supports on Power Rangers, the KotL's going to be the greedier one. He might even go right for an Agnum Scepter. He's already on reserve about 1,300 gold. We'll see.
I feel like the mech is okay, but like the straight axe, like you get that it's going to be a really powerful tool to have. Bottom lane, Funnick now. Taking a lot of harass here. Same for Dichara. Puck going to blink himself forward, gets the Dream Coil. Won't hit the orb. And with a Tombstone here, this is a tricky place for Sashka to be, and he needs to find an escape here. The Macropie going to be cancelling that Blink Dagger. And with this level 1 phase shift, he's not getting out of this one. Dendy even TPing in for that. Sashglow. A few misspells, a few kind of bad rotations, and Na'Vi actually looking okay after a bit of a rough start in that tri-lane versus tri-lane. It is still a PR gold lead, though.
Do a good job in the early game. Of course, like Havost getting caught out by that Roach Pit, draws first blood, and then he's put into an awkward aggro try kind of a setup. Well, after they make the rotation over, they kind of shake things off, and it looks like slowly they're being a little bit more composed. They have to pull out a couple of rotations, but they're not getting knocked down as hard as they did before. As we get ready to approach the mid-game, maybe Na'Vi looking to make a bit of a turnaround here.
PR supports are really good laning supports, but they're bad, like, roaming supports. They're bad mid-game supports just because they don't really offer reliable damage or even reliable stuns. Like cast, you don't, unless you know you're going to get like a multiple hero stun off and kind of chain it together. It's not exactly that reliable. And Illuminate also just not really reliable damage, as we've seen a few times with the Illuminates just missing. So
yeah. Compare
that to like your Skywraths, your Ogres, your Vengeful Spirits. Like these are just much more reliable supports around the 10 to 15 minute mark.
Oh, top lane. There's going to be the call here. Cheshire Catting a little bit of damage. Can they get him low enough? The silence though comes through, and so is the Death Ward. Havost will be taken down. The rotation coming up from PR scores him that one.
I think that's what they should have done last time when the puck went there. They needed just +1 support, and I think Havost is always alone at this top lane. They should just be looking to kill him over and over again whenever he's in this lane. He rarely has backup, and all you need is that puck +1 support. Either KotL or Witch Doctor, either should work, and that's just a useful gank to be doing. The Axe Blink Dagger is something you definitely want to slow down right now.
Brood scouting out, flirting with the Radiant Ancient camp here. Godblack nearby will drop the ward, and Cheshire Cat just kind of puts himself back in that lane. Has the Midas looking to build up. We'll see if he'll go for a Necro Book to kind of assert more split push action, or maybe an Orchid.
Necro nice against the Medusa for the mana burn, for sure.
Ah, that's true. Yeah. Necro Book definitely helps there.
You may be thinking like fighter build, like a BKB butterfly type thing. Ooh, he finds a nice little ancient stack. Says hello. Pops his ultimate, and we'll look to take this. Or at least some of the...
Do they know what's happening, though? I mean, they have a ward. Havost was in the neighborhood, but still no blink yet. He's getting really close, though. About 1,800 gold after getting the Vanguard. Uh-oh. Shotsko goes to high ground.
Sashko, what you doing, mate? You need to orb himself out of there, and...
Yeah.
Okay. I guess he was running in blind, whereas Na'Vi themselves have a nice little Ancient's Ward here. They want to go for Havost here. Brood needs ultimate. It's not up for 10 seconds, and I don't think without the ultimate they can get this unless we see some backup coming in. Puck's the hero you ideally want backing him up. 3 seconds till that ultimate, and Havost is going to get back to safety, so... That is his Blink Dagger up now.
I imagine Havost, who he is, probably farm a bit here in the top lane, but eventually he's going to want to put that Blink Dagger to strong use. I figured maybe he would have hid... He's going to hide the dagger, or at least it's on... Well, is he going to show it? I don't think he should. He might, though. No, he's not. He's going to hide behind. Maybe he'll make a go jump on the Cheshire Cat. There it is. Oh! Not going to catch the call, unfortunately, though.
Now Brood going to turn and fight. He doesn't have a TP. Actually, no, sorry, what am I talking about? I'm blind. He does have a TP. Well, kind of rough for him, but bottom lane, Saniko going to get caught up by an Ice Path. Here comes the Tower Deny. Going to be just in time as Funnick now gets stunned up by the Mana Leak. No escape available for him. Pounce will secure the kill, and Sashko once more does not have a Dream Call for 15 seconds, but Vengscore, he's got Trinkle Boots, he should be fine.
Yeah, this wave steps back, they're not going to pursue that one, and now they're actually making a go. This is... Shashko had been dropped 3 times back-to-back, making a bit overzealous kind of a play, so doesn't want to do it again. This time plays a bit more timid and will immediately jump away.
Not been the smoothest game for this puck, but... Slack buys a Blink, sells it, buys a Midas. He's like, nah, this is going to be a farm game. You're against a Medusa, and I think they just lack damage to kill the tank. Axe with a Vanguard, Medusa with a Medusa Mana Shield, just doing Medusa things, and even like a Jakira, pretty tanky hero. So I think going for a Blink, probably not the right choice. I think you want to kind of look to scale to farm for the late game if you're this Slack, because Brood doesn't really... does fall off quite a bit as far as a Brood carry goes, so...
Yeah.
I think Slack going for the Midas is the better choice.
Okay, Brood running through the webs, trying to avoid the fire that Funnick is laying down as he's trying to take away that ancient stack. Brood being a real thorn in the side here in this top lane. And is going for that Necro Book, already has the level 1, so good farm for his second in net worth, top as far as CS though, 137, and putting together some respectable farm, but now has to be constantly on watch for Havost with his blink in.
It's weird because PR have had this gold lead for some time, but it really feels like Na'Vi are just doing so much better right now. Like they're getting core items which just have like a bigger impact, like a blink on your axe, the Medusa with the completed Lincoln Sphere, and everything just seems... And the Yule Scepter on the Jakira, really nice pickup to have at this stage. For PR, it's like they've got a farm KotL who has a mech and all, but mech just doesn't feel like a high-impact item because they're not 5-man pushing. This would be really good if you had a 5-man push on it, but that's... KotL's solo pushing bot lane. This mech is not really benefiting the team at all, so It feels like PR's got
Yeah.
all this farm, but they're not really going to be able to turn it into objectives too easily compared to Na'Vi, who have a much kind of more clear game plan.
Yeah, that's where I felt that maybe, getting the quick ags then. If you feel like you were going to go with more of a split push, you could have split pushed even better, quicker, and safer. And then
Offlane,
still been able to
Cheshire
bring
Cat,
up some quick farm.
trouble. He's going to find himself, actually life-stealing back up. A Voss with the death ward on him as well. He's got no escape out of this one, so it's a 1-0 trade to start things off, and Vengscore on the run.
Oh, they're not done yet.
Yeah.
Puck's going to be able to jump on forward here with that blink
GD.
and orb. Boop. Got him.
Okay.
Fan score is going to go
Trades
down.
mid lane, and
a couple of
it's
kills.
Tier 1 tower for Na'Vi, but gosh, that damage though. Dendy is getting scary. Lincoln's the makings of what is probably a Yasha for him, and he's still top of the net worth.
Puck is also going for Midas. Is that the Midas in the stash, looking for the catch up there. Keeper's got the staff, but he's going to go with a force staff next. So there's that.
I feel like they're looking at this like
staff.
we can't push high ground. Like we can get a lead right now and take some fights, take some outer towers, but pushing high ground against the Blink Axe, the Medusa is going to be tricky. So let's just use our heroes with an advantage to get towers and then fall back on these Midases for the late game.
How's the vision here? Because it looks like Witch Doctor is also taking himself to go for an Aghanim Scepter, but they did already throw in a couple of wards, the majority of them being on that bottom lane, however, so not much vision happening here for PR in the top lane, which can make Brood a bit nervous, but seems to be getting the most out of this lane for now. It looks like Na'Vi have other plans. They want to go down this mid lane, it seems, or see if they can scout anything out, but they'd already taken that tier 1 tower, so I'm curious to see what the next game plan is here for Na'Vi to kind of progress forward.
It's hard for them to do too much objective-based gaming with the Medusa pick. They don't really want to 5-man too much. They want to try be as efficient as possible with their farm, but they also are at quite a bit of risk of getting picked off at this stage.
Yeah, and they do have Vengeful, so it could help with doing something like Roche, but I don't know how the damage is. I guess if you put it together with Liquid Fire, they could get it done, but you're going against this dire squad. And
it'd be very slow, and I think it would take too many heroes that it'd be either obvious or just... It's actually like the amount of money you'd get for Roshan, you'd be getting more farm by just farming your jungle in multiple lanes, I feel. But now, Na'Vi pick up a gem. They want to get some map control on their side, and it feels like they're just not really in a position where they'll be able to get easy kills on the Puck or the Brood. Even the Slark is very elusive, so as a result, they're going to be forced to kind of farm for the late game with the Medusa. And even, I mean, heroes like Axe do pretty well in the late game too, if he's keeping up on farm, which Avost is.
Avost is, but their supports are a bit behind here.
Their supports are really far behind.
Vengeful and Goblex Undying, they're both level 8. They don't have much to their name as far as items like a boot.
Look at the net worth. It's 6k KotL, 5k Witch Doctor to the 2k and 2.5k of the Na'Vi supports. The support difference in farm is massive right now. That's where all the farm's
trying to go
going.
For that Roche, and we just talked about it.
It's
a lot of work to get it down, and PR are already happy to contest it here, and this is turning into a very awkward engagement here at the bottom. Na'Vi might just have to pull out, and they will.
I think it's. I think PR will wait for the Necrobook cooldown before they go back in, but PR can just sit around, farm Ancients, pressure lanes a little bit here and there, and it's just not efficient use of Na'Vi time to just be 5-man position around the Roshan, and well, someone's going to go back top to defend, and as soon as someone goes top, Brood can kind of go back into the solo Roshan.
Cheshire Cat cutting off Funnick here. He's going to slowly run him down, but there's going to be the TP, and there's nothing really Suniko can do about it.
Meanwhile, bottom river, J4 and Sashko just duking it out with the frontline Medusa, who is not someone who's really all that killable right now.
No, and it looks like Dendy's got some good form.
I like what Dicharaz doing top. He's keeping 1 to 2 heroes up here. Takes a bit of damage, but will back off, heal it off, and just going to create that space that maybe the Brood needs to go into Roshan again. And the Necro 3 up in 5 seconds, and that may be what Cheshire Cat's waiting for. It looks like he's going back in.
Yeah, baby.
Possibly? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Na'Vi are definitely in position to come and fight him once more, though. Yeah,
yeah, no. Yes, maybe, no.
He sees the D-Ward, and he's like, okay, let's go Ancients instead.
They're here, and they're like, we want to make sure they're throwing everything into the Dark Pit, just in case.
Yep, they've got the gem too, so It's not going to be easy for the Brood to take it. But what PR is going to do is just, you go fight. Na'Vi are forced to 5-man, whereas PR have 3 to 4 heroes in different locations. There's Slack top, you had your Puck hitting the tier 1 mid, you've got Witch Doctor in the jungle, you've got Brood bottom, or Brood in the Radiant jungle, and KotL in the bottom lane. They're farming 5 different places on different heroes. Na'Vi are farming like 1 to 2 heroes, it feels like.
Yeah. They're catching up Cheshire Cat, Yules, the whole kit and caboodle here to try to take down this Brood with the most finishing it off. The cherry on top going to be that Culling Blade, plus trying to farm up these sweet little Necro books. But hey, look what's happening at the top. Digyarad doing the signature split push he loves to do, is put himself into the base. Mild damage on that tier 3, but it forces Na'Vi to immediately pull back.
It feels like if you look at the last 5 minutes as a whole, like, sure, that 1 kill is a 1-for-nothing trade with no obvious trade, but looking at like the big picture, PR are just farming, still farming all their heroes. So one pick-off hero there is not going to hurt them that much. They're still just being so much more farm efficient right now.
Yeah. More farm efficient with more of their heroes and more of their players.
The graph has been dipping way down in net worth with no kills. It's gone from like a 2.5k lead to like an 8,000 net worth lead with 1 or 2 kills here or there. Like, none of that's coming down to kills. Hardly any of it's coming down to towers as well. That's just pure out farm.
Only one more tier 2 actually up for Na'Vi before it's all on the base. With everyone farming so much, they're building up a very nice, well-rounded late game.
Yeah, these supports rolling in money right now. Keeper of the Light, 4-staff mech, 1,400 gold. I want to see some ags. I want to see some, I don't know, more big items coming out of this Keeper.
Agnews, I'd have to hope, is one of the next things up. 4-staff is great. Works obviously with anything. You get a free coil snap if you want. Obviously, Mana Leak 4-staff could help add in getting a stun. But he's finding the farm.
Cat's done really well in this Brood, connecting up like his Ancients to the Radiant jungle. Just it's got this nice just web, like this web sequence connecting up all these different farming locations. Top lane, dunk onto Slark, and that's a. I mean, Na'Vi have to just keep going for whatever pickoffs they can get. They can never really turn into towers, but they have to punish all these solo farming heroes. And they're going to do so elsewhere as well. Brood on the southern side. Dendi doesn't really have the damage for this one. They are going to dust him up now, and they need the axe who had the gem, but Cheshire Cat will get 4-staffed out by the Keeper of the Light, and looks like he'll be kept alive. Keeper, though, he's okay. Has a 4-staff in 10 seconds, and Dendi, no real way to keep the Keeper of the Light in place.
Yeah. He's going to be able to walk away, no problem. I mean, Na'Vi being able to bring down Dit, yes, certainly helps their case, but still feeling like PowerRangers is, they kind of control the tempo of this one.
It's triple Midas gaming against 0. 3 Midas versus none. Na'Vi still have a very good late game, just the nature of Medusa with a Vengeful Spirit, and I'd say Axe is a pretty damn strong late gamer too. Cole going through BKB especially useful, but Radiant Courier sniped by Puck, it looks like.
It was up by the secret shop.
Yeah. I think that was the Axis Shivers guard that he was about to purchase. Yeah, he had the recipe on there and was a couple hundred short of the Mystic Staff.
It looks like Havos is going to have to wait a bit before he'll have that extra bit of durability from the Shivas, but he is level 16 now, level 3 calling the threshold much more, and they want to go use that threshold on the Shotch Glow. There's the jump in Havos, and there's the threshold. He just slices down the fairy. Okay. Be another good grab for Na'Vi.
Yeah. Na'Vi just have to keep on doing this. They just have to constantly deal with split push and kind of the rat Dota, essentially, that we're seeing from PR. But I mean, from PR's point of view, the few key kills here or there, it is starting to add up. Like, Na'Vi is starting to get one too many, maybe, core hero kills for PR's liking, but PR still have a lot of farm all across the board. Mostly as a result of the Midases, but also just because of how many places on the map they're farming right now. And, I mean, when are Na'Vi going to push? It doesn't feel like Na'Vi have any way of pushing until, like, they get 3-4 big items on Medusa as well as Axe, and it feels like Na'Vi to win this game will have to go like an hour or so, maybe. For PR, they could theoretically win this with just 1 or 2 Na'Vi mistakes.
Already with the questionable push power from Na'Vi, you have great counter push power from PR with the KotL, with the cast coming out from Witch Doctor even, and Brood being what Brood is. It's going to be hard for Na'Vi to look to really break the base of PR, and now with PR, they sneak themselves into the Roche pit here, and it looks like they'll scout it out.
Send in the illusion, and
We're gonna
They
see,
see
it
how
slow.
low Roshan is.
Yeah.
Second illusion going to go in as well, and PR, they've got good vision around the pit. Problem is right now, Na'Vi also have to have someone top, battling with the Slack. That's going to be Havos. Gets the call off, does have the backup in the form of a Vengeful Spirit. Deecher Ra, not going to Shadow Dance it off.
Holy moly.
He's okay.
It does make it out, but man, my goodness. He's pirouetting out there like a ballerina. And back at the Roche pit, though. Dendi does waltz in there, but has to pop the Stone Gaze, turns back, looks to go for a fight. Ditya doesn't care. They're looking to just keep on waltzing on in, and now Dendi's going to be in big trouble and will go down. J4 drops down the ultimate and also takes down KotLGuy. And KotLGuy. So this is now going to be a easy Roche for PR. Yeah. They definitely make the best of this.
And this is where like your supports having all this crazy farm can really just pay off, because that's like an extra kill that J4 secures his team with the Witch Doctor ultimate, and Dendi can't find kills because there's a mech and a 4-star on the Keeper. And we're seeing PR just out-farm Na'Vi across the board. I mean, even the Jakiro, who's a core hero, is being heavily out-farmed by the Keeper of the Light, and is on the same level as the Witch Doctor. Na'Vi have 3 supports to PR's like 1 support effectively here. This Keeper has almost got an Acceptor now. The Keeper of the Light pick, man. This is... The dream is real. We're looking at a Keeper of the Light winning a Dota game right now. It's not over yet, but...
I'm happy he's winning. I'm not convinced he's the reason, and it's been anything that's been, like, huge. Yeah, he's found lots of great farm and helped secure them in a great aggro early laning phase, but...
He fits with this playstyle. Like, they're split pushing. They have core heroes like Brood who can farm jungle, and Keeper of the Light can solo push lanes pretty safely, because you can sit so far back with the blast, so... He's a pretty unique support in that sense for this playstyle.
Well, whatever he offers, it's going to go up by tenfold once he gets Agnums. Agnums just adds so much to this hero. You're talking about blinding light and that taxi service being available whenever. I mean, it's free TPs. If you happen to be dead, or maybe you want to buy back and get right back into the mix, he's going to be right there and ready to help out anytime. Doesn't have to spend the ultimate, so he only gets much more potent once this Agnums comes together.
Well, items galore for the PR side. The Acceptor we mentioned, the Assault Crest for the Brood, about complete as well. It is complete back at base. Meanwhile, on the Radiant base, it's going to be Deecher initiating onto Funnick, who defensively uses himself. The Witch Doctor ultimate onto the high ground. He's going to get the 1 kill and then back off. Avosk walks into a silence here. Shashko, though, stone gazed up. Right-click damage is there. The phase shift, the orb out. Can he survive? You betcha he can. Deecher shadow dancing and looking to just steal those juicy stats. Dendi's maledicted, and as a result, he's looking pretty damn dead here. I don't even know if he had mana shield on for that fight. He gets swapped out, but gets killed off by the Dream Coil stun. Axe is dead as well. Na'Vi, all 3 core heroes on the sidelines.
Yeah, they're doing this without KotL, without Brood. This is 3
Korea.
PR people getting the job done, and they continue to clear house, and also the courier goes down again. Unbelievable here as PR.
Oh, maybe going to see a dieback coming out. He's fighting 5 here, and, well, 4 does not beat 5.
This might be a swift ending here to game number 1. PR looking pretty good, top to bottom here. Break into the base, and it looks like racks are going to drop, and this game might shortly follow.
Yeah, this is looking all over. They can swing bottom to get another lane of racks. Unfortunately, the tier 2 mid still standing, but bottom lane looks pretty juicy. They may even just go jumping for some kills here. Deecher actually, no, it's going to be Vengscore fighting the Necrobooks, and Funnick on the run at bottom. Mana leaked up, the sun's going to find him, but they say, it's not really worth our time, perhaps.
He's still going to try to create space and draw them away from the base at all possible, while Ditya continues to go at that tier 3. The other 2 continue to chase down Funnick. They'll get that kill. But PR do strike first inside the base. They clear out the top. And I feel like this is just going to be more or less the same. They step back. They're already flexing their
Everyone's full HP, man. The KotLGuy.
Yeah. Here we go. You got your nice little Blink Dagger. Well, come join the fray there, J4. Brings them right in, and now they can continue their pushing assault on the bottom lane.
Yeah. Well, not easy for Na'Vi to fight.
I love it.
Mana Leak Blinding Light, and he can just keep spamming that Blinding Light. He hit 16. That's got a 12-second cooldown. That's pretty nifty. And Medusa's not farming an MKB anytime soon. Here we go, Witch Doctor, this is the ultimate. It's bouncing around, catching everyone. Vengeful Spirit kept alive just barely. Then you're going to die to the Maledict, it looks like. And with that, I think Na'Vi are done for. Game 1, going to go PowerRangers way.
Not out yet. Not going to be looking to come back. Game number 2. Same way Alliance did. take it to a game 3, but that will do it here. So what do you think? Was it execution? Was it a questionable draft from Na'Vi trying to throw together this Havos core axe with a mid lane Medusa? What happened?
I think Na'Vi definitely got pushed outside of their comfort zone when they saw the Brood. Like, putting Dendi on the mid Medusa and then having to swap the lanes around a bit. The Trailing versus Trailing didn't go well. And then PR definitely out-executed Na'Vi in the mid to late game with their split push. Na'Vi were just... It took them so long before they realized, oh wait, we just got to pick off people. And like, sure, they got 2 to 3 pickoffs in a row, like on the puck once or twice on the Slark, but they need to be doing that 5 or 10 minutes earlier to stand a chance. And by the time they started doing it, the out-farm was just so severe. Triple Midases, 5 heroes farming both jungles, all 3 lanes, whereas Na'Vi had no farm going their way. Na'Vi just couldn't develop any items on anyone apart from like the Medusa, who doesn't really carry or do damage on her own.
So hopefully Na'Vi can shake this one off and look to bounce back here, but PR looking pretty dang strong in game number 1. Ditya sporting his signature Slark, and well, I'm happy to KotL with the victory. So we'll see. Na'Vi, can they bring the game back in number 2, or will PR walk away with a 2-0 slate in the upper bracket? We'll find out.
Stick around, guys. We'll see you soon.